Sur quoi?
And do
How did you know what you do?
and then
How did you
when I
just
was
start dancing talk that talk?
see, so I wanted to because
Right
I wanted
now.
this to happen like with the
NMD B3. Create new paths.
To be playing with. We see that Lelouch can go down at least one dispel route to be able to deal with the global silence. So if you give a good start to the Void Spirit, he will definitely improve to be an issue for Nouns as the game goes on.
Yeah, even just little things like being able to get rid of the viscous nasal goo, to be able to get rid of the wave of terror, for the minus armor aspects. Bottom side,
lane, Z-Freak. Oh, nicely done. Missile into the combo from Mu. They're going to be able to hold back Natsumi. Z-Freak will be able to stay alive. Missile up in a couple of seconds, but AU will be able to get towards a tower. Z-Freak attempting to continue to chase, but a lot of resources being expended from either side. Natsumi doesn't have
He's got nothing.
anything at the moment. Yeah, it's a Corey giving him
nothing.
Oh, yeah, nothing.
So as long as this lane's in a pretty deep spot for Nouns, they're very happy. Like, they know as soon as Natsumi comes in, they're just going to immediately go for the kill. And I mean, this is the importance of constantly having resources being ferried out to you in the laning stage. It's coming out right now on AU, but it's going to be way too late.
Yeah, AU just wanted the Bloodseeker to die so he could get all the juicy experience down bottom. You know, he's thinking like a core.
Is he going to die here on Lelouch? Oh, just a Fairy Fire, keeping him up. And is he going to be lucky? Of course he is. I mean, he's already had a good enough time in the mid lane.
Lucky? No, the missile! Oh no, it doesn't connect. Lelouch's got to be cautious still.
Lux for losers,
Freak pushing
says
him forward.
Lelouch. He's
Lux
just
for
like,
losers.
you know what? I'm going to get away on my skill.
It's going to push him all the way back to base though, at least. They will lose the catapult away from now, so not too much damage being dealt in the tower, but Gunner is at least being able to catch back up after that previous death.
It's gone much better for Nouns, though, in the laning stage than what we saw previously.
Bottom lane, Lelouch is going to rotate down. It's a beautiful blood right. Getting that extra control over towards the Dawnbreaker. Lelouch is going to have the finishing blow, but meanwhile, they will not have a stun to stop the TP out. So Z-Freak will make it back alive. Meanwhile, Nouns, they might consider about diving the Hoodwink under the tower. Although they're actually going to consider about TPing Force in. The Bushwhack will be off the mark, but instead, a beautiful shot's going to lock Gunner inside the river. We'll see if the damage is going to be enough out of Force, and you bet it is. Gunner doesn't have the health pool to be able to stay alive, and now Lelouch is connected to mid as well. From bot over to help out with the rest of the members. Beautifully done as Polaris bring both cores here to help out to secure the kills.
Yeah, that was the rotation that I was talking about, right? A lot of the time, you really don't want to be doing that on an offlaner, but if you're able to, again, slow down this silencer, prevent this early-ish to mid-game stages, because he's not going to farm at the same speed as someone like a Void Spirit is. You just don't have the tools to be able to do it, especially now that you move the Aghanim Shard over to the level 25 talent. Plus side, though, is that Costabile, he's just been sitting up here getting all this free farm, solo XP as well for himself. So he's going to be hitting some pretty decent timings. He did end up going for the Vanguard. Of course, he's up against a Tusk, so I understand why.
Skip at the burst damage is not enough. Now Lelouch, he's in trouble. He's playing off the back of the Resident Pulse Absorption. That's enough to keep him alive. Mu will end up TPing up, so he'll be okay. But in the end, you get some other kills as well, so that's a big rotation for Lelouch to be able to find 3-0-1, and we saw what he was able to do in game 1 top lane. Natsumi and Force in combination together, chasing down Constabile. They need to get in front of the Bristleback, but instead it's going to be that.
So I don't think Xavius will mind that all too much. He just wanted to make sure that the tower didn't get pushed in by the Pangolier while Lelouch was away, getting a lot of those kills, and more importantly, the network.
Force might be able to solo kill Gunner. Oh, but the Solar Guardian and Husky's positioning will keep Gunner alive. Although Lelouch, he's going to be able to fall up as well. Beautifully done. Steps in with a burst required. Meanwhile, top lane though, Natsumi is in a little bit of trouble. Vulnerable against the Bristleback, but a Rupture used defensively will enable him to get back towards the secret shot. But they do have a ward of the triangle, and Husky's going to try and connect. But it'll be the Ancients that deny the Bloodseeker.
And this is the positive thing when you've got an Enigma as well, right? AU, we haven't called his name for quite some time. He doesn't have the greatest amount of net worth, but he is just farming away super happily on this bottom side, keeping the lane pushed in, and someone's going to need to have to deal with this.
Lelouch, he needs to get the kill pretty fast on the Z-Freak, but his other ultimate charges, they might not even catch up to the Vengeful Spirit. They'll miss out on the shards. He'll turn it back around, chucking out a missile. Beautifully done as Gunnar gets the streak, and meanwhile, Moo, he's going to enter the fight as well. A solo kill for the Dawnbreaker onto Xavier's, but we're not done just yet. And Force and Natsumi in combination together. The Blood Right will buy them some time, but as soon as that runs out, Nouns can push on forward. Acostabile starting to stack up the slows. Gunnar as well is going to be in with the Arcane Curse. His Force is stopped to a crawl. Is he going to tick out to the damage? It's not enough, so Force will survive.
AU comes in as well. He doesn't quite have the mana for the Black Hole. It kind of feels like he was going to be using that solo onto Gunnar because he hasn't leveled up the Global Silence yet, but a Dawnbreaker with no ultimate, a Bristleback with no stun. Almost felt like that would have been a guaranteed kill, but maybe just not accounting for the mana cost of the TP. Immediate smoke coming out here. Level 6 on Xavius, so they feel like they can go for this kill onto Costabile. I feel like they'll need some kind of resources, and that's where the TP comes in from Force to be able to do so.
Oh, Costabile is going to be in trouble. Look at the burst potential that comes out. And Force might be on point with the shards. A nice side set from Moo, because he's always playing with a Celestial Hammer. But then this is a big concern that I have for Nouns, that yes, Bristleback is the highest net worth hero for Dire, but throughout the entirety of the game, they have a way to address him, so it doesn't seem like it particularly matters how much farm he's going to be able to get. Polaris will be able to counter him as the game goes on.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, the thing is, they're always going to be able to counter him, so you have to force a way to be able to make them defend more than attack, right? You don't want to give these open opportunities for Polaris to just run at you whenever they feel like. And so a big way to do that is just to consistently push out lanes. Bristleback's alright at doing it. You could just toss a Wave of Terror, which helps the creep wave do it naturally. Even a Pos 5 Pango has the capability to do it. And we can see Moo, I was mentioning, what's he going to go for mana regen? He's got a Falcon Blade, and he's going into the Soul Ring. So he's just going to be spamming that Celestial Hammer off cooldown to make sure that's what's happening with the lanes.
That is the one nice thing, I suppose, with Nouns, is that their lineup is very much based around counter-initiating. A Solar Guardian used defensively, the swap, your Husky with the Rolling Thunder to be able to enter some of the fights. So you need to get to the stage, but the Bristleback is strong enough to be able to kind of put yourself on the front line, and for Polaris not to be able to execute cleanly to blow him up as Husky. There's the Rolling Thunder we're speaking about, but AU will have plenty of time. He's even going to use the Black Hole. No messing around though with the Solar Guardian to be able to counter this. So a couple of ultimates expended from either sides, but the rest of Polaris, they're looking to get in the neighborhood as they see that gun is caught out of position. An instant use of the swap, but Lelouch is nearby as well. But then beautiful double bushwhack will hold Moo down into place as Xavius finds the burst required to get another kill for Polaris.
Yeah, they use so much just to try and protect this this Pangolier, which basically there's not much point of it. I mean, this is a position 5 Pango at the end of the day. Sure, you killed the Enigma, but that Enigma's pos 5 too. So it just feels like a little bit too much emphasis being given on to those sorts of heroes as opposed to stopping the real tempo setter, which is the Tusk. You need to try and commit as heavily as possible onto the Tusk, maybe go down the Spirit Vessel route for Husky, just to make sure that you're able to get a little bit more of that damage through onto him.
This is kind of nice. So Z-Freak's getting some me time down bottom. I think this is 3 waves in a row that the Venge has been able to find some farm. Oh, hold that thought. Costabile is going to be picked up. Force and Xavius combination together. Not only do they have the Void Spirit that the Hoodwink can play with, but Force is that farm they can look to play with him as well. As well, finally they'll address Z-Freak, who is freely farming up down bottom. It's going to be AU and Lelouch that were required to be able to defend the tower.
Nice little deny as well, so just gives them even more farm on Polaris. And they are going to end up going into that Yule Scepter that we were expecting for Lelouch. I think he's nearly finished up his full, the full item as well, so could very easily just look to purchase that one through. Level 12 as well, so his damage output is severely increased right now, and I mean, right now it just feels like...
Onto the T1 tower. Look at the burst again. Force and Xavius with the sharpshooter. They haven't got the damage until Force is able to utilize the snowball. But now that the reinforcements are showing up, they need a stun. And they'll just find the last second. Z-Freak is there with the magic missile. They're looking for more though. But Husky will be a little bit too late to cancel any other TPs with the Rolling Thunder.
I just want to see Void Spirit, Hoodwink, Tusk. Maybe not even all three, but for now, probably safer to do it than not, and just hunt the Bristleback. Try and find where he is, get some deep wards up with the smoke, and then look to consistently kill him, because again, he is the only one that you're concerned about.
And it feels like Polaris have already kind of anticipated where the Bristleback is soon to be farming. You take a look at this freshly placed observer ward by the Dire Triangle. So they're ready for the Bristleback to fall towards that location, which I'm kind of surprised he hasn't been farming. Like, this is usually the Bristleback's home, and no one else can really try and clean up this area.
I think it's kind of out of necessity, right? He doesn't want to be super greedy. He wants to assist his team with trying to keep that top lane pushed out as much as possible.
Anyway, he jumps into the river. The Global Silence is going to be able to set up for the Solar Guardian. Bit of a mistake coming up from Lelouch, and yeah, Gunnar gives him a tip back. He'll make sure he remembers.
Husky going for the jump here, trying to catch out.
In the river though, Moo. By the secret shot, Natsumi and AU. Yeah, they're going to be able to see the Dawnbreaker splitting up for the rest of the team, so even though Nouns were trying to catch up with the Rolling Thunder mid, that gave them an opportunity to try and deal with the Dawnbreaker.
They're pinging out the career as well. They want to try and get this point booster if they can. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to though. So now Gunnar, 2.5 items into his Aghanim Scepter. It's going to provide them so much more utility for all these team fights. Not force him to use that Global Silence super early on. Can afford to be a little bit more conservative with it. Wait for those BKBs that I'm sure are set to come out next for Force. Yep, there it is. And Bloodseeker, he's already halfway there for himself. So just wait for that. After the Yule Scepter as well for the Void Spirit, that's when you're going to have the real strong effectiveness in these team fights. Because they're not lacking in it for Nouns. They just need to start these team fights a lot better.
This is a concern where Polaris are just easily able to invade the jungle. 17 minutes in, taking away the triangle. They don't even care about this T1 tower mid. It's just the economy that they want to shut down from the side of Nouns. I mean, you see they're all grouped up, like Gunnar and Moo playing together, so just continuing to stem the economy that Nouns are able to build up.
Yep. It's all about stalling, right? Just get that next item and be able to withstand the BKB push that they know is inevitably going to come their way. So even Husky is just being given a lane all to himself because they know that, Pango, Swashbuckle, Shield Crash, you're able to quickly clear lanes out. They go for a smoke. Wasn't under any kind of vision, but let's see if they're able to respond to it in time. It's just going to be AU that they pick off here, which, it's not the greatest to be able to lose your Enigma, never mind, but it's a 4-man smoke for a position 5. And it just, the amount of space that it gives. Look at the lines being drawn on the map. AU's just like, well, they killed me. Push out top, push out mid, try and take this tower.
Yeah, it's a lot of information now that Polaris are going to be working with all the other lanes that are shoved out, because now you can jump Gunnar. Let's see if they're going to be able to blow him up. Polaris are hesitant about committing. Sharpshooter with the damage is not enough, so Gunnar's going to be okay.
They're just trying to force some kind of movement up towards this top side. Force. It's this little balancing act, right? Of wanting to push the wave in as quickly as possible, but not leave yourself there to be able to die. Wisely enough, Nouns, they're not going to get baited out by this. They don't want to TP up here unnecessarily. It's all just about running there. They're pinging him out now, saying, hey, he could have potentially TP'd in. So maybe they'll be baited into making not so ideal movement coming through. Here we go.
Looks like they're baiting as well.
Yeah, coming up top. Z-Freak in good position. Does he have the range, though? It's just level 1 swap.
Oh, he just backed off. He just started to back off. That's a lot of ultimates expended. And Polaris, they had already disengaged before the Global Silence and the Solar Guardian, so it just felt like they didn't see anyone behind. They wanted to try and get some reactions, and they well and truly got that. That is a big victory for Polaris. Now they can do whatever they want on the map.
Able to see that they've got this high ground watered as well. Xavius, not sure if you're in a position, buddy, to be able to go for this one, as the Rolling Thunder's committed to try and take him down. Get the
Gotta
slow.
be cautious
but-
though.
Yeah.
The rupture's there. Scarcy forced to cancel out the ultimate, and they recognize that now they're not playing with some big abilities to be able to utilize in the team fight. So 2 heroes are killed off with ease, and now they're even going to chase forward for more. Gunner's positioned up on the high gun. Costability did just complete the scepter as well, so they kind of need to respect the bristleback for the moment. Although Lelouch is going to charge up, gets the jump. Rest of the team's starting to move towards his position. They even have the boomerang as well for the bonus damage.
Nice chop though.
Rounds will be okay.
By Moons. He chopped the tree, making sure there wasn't that consistent follow-up coming through. I think they're going to be happy enough if they're able to take this mid-tier 1 tower. No Solar Guardian for 50 seconds, and they saw the fact that Mood TP'd down here, so they're going to be able to claim this one, get some control around the Roche Pit, and that's going to be the next main objective for Polaris. They've got a Tusk, they've got a Bloodseeker that's able to attack super fast, they've got a Wraith Pact, plenty of damage.
The triangle force. They'll get the jump onto Costabile. A snowball's going to buy them some time. A beautiful setup for Lelouch to enter the fight. The damage is getting spread apart, but once that Tsumi's able to enter, they don't have an answer to the Bloodseekers. The BKB just enables him to get the right clicks out, and Costabile will look for the TP, but the Remnant instantly stops out in its tracks, and now they've caught out Gunner as well. Another tip, Lelouch, he'll give him one back as Polaris loses 0 members.
0 members lost, and, well, they're going to find a tier 2 tower for themselves as well. No glyph available. Siege creep assisting them too. Might even be looking to go for a solid pickoff here onto Z-Freak, but Lelouch, as well as Xavier's, going to be able to back up in time. But, again, I mentioned that they were going for that Roshan controls. We look at the replay. This is what the Yule Scepter provides, right? Not only does it give you that safety net against the Global Silence, against the Aghanim Scepter on the Silencer, but it allows you to force the Bristleback to face you. So he's already down to half HP before he even gets ruptured, forced to TP away. He's just in such a rough spot. It doesn't feel like he can take these team fights prior to having the BKB, and he's just a mile away.
Yeah, it feels like really the timings are coming out too late for Nouns. I was going to ask the question on one stage, do we feel like Nouns can compete with the double scepter timing, but we don't even have that yet on Gunner. And the net worth lead is just continuing to balloon to a stage where they have the answers to the Bristleback, and you can now itemize against the Silencer. Like, this is one of the big weaknesses with this hero. You already see Lelouch. Your Scepter instantly into the Lotus Orb as the item after the Aghanim Scepter, and they're going to continue just to itemize to be able to dispel. Like, this is the big issue with the hero. There's just so many ways to counter you.
Yeah, Natsumi, he's gone into a Manta style. Like, he just wants to quickly purge that one off. I'd be surprised if I didn't see someone with a Lotus Orb queued up next. You've got, oh my god, you've nearly got the Walrus kick available on Force. He's got the 3 components on the Courier. One more pick-off, and this is going to be another big item picked up for him.
Yeah, and you can use that in so many ways in these team fights.
Gotcha.
That's a very good point. I wasn't even going to mention that. But yeah, that's a great point, being able to get that bonus damage out of the Rupture. As Moo, they will run into him. Oh, Lelouch. Oh no, they thought it was on the other high ground that the smoke popped on. So Moo's going to be able to TP out, and also Husky will TP out as well. So Polaris, a smoke down to bottom will get them nothing. Meanwhile, Natsumi is alone. They have the outpost to be able to TP too.
No.
Natsumi, it seems like he knows though. He's playing behind the single tree. The rest of Polaris aren't moving over towards top. Natsumi will use a defensive BKB. Wraith Pack laid down as well.
There's no way
he's going to be able to get out.
Oh, they got the Courier with the Ags on it though. So Force doesn't have it. He's not going to have it for the next 2.5 minutes. That's a pretty big kill. I mean, it only gives them about a minute window where they have both that as well as the Aegis. So, well, that's just small victory going Nouns' way. They would have seen that they got that, and maybe now with the BKB on cooldown, they feel like the Bloodseeker can't fight. So they're going to go for a kill elsewhere, just showing Costabile on the map because he still needs to farm.
They see Lelouch.
Getting baited here.
Let's see what they're going to be able to do. The swap back into the Rolling Thunder. That's a beautiful setup. Really nicely done from now. It's a crafty way to get the jump. Beautifully done from them. And now this tier 1 tower. They might be able to find it. We haven't really seen the prowess of the Bristleback so far with all his right-click damage. And with that kill, they should be able to get some map control now.
Doesn't feel like much, but it really does open up so much of the map, right?
Yep.
Like, you can even look to potentially place yourself inside of the enemy triangle now as this Bristleback, but instead they're just going to back up a little bit, look to get another smoke through. I'm not sure who they're going to pick off now, though, because no one's farming inside of their jungle. They can see that. They've got the wards for it. And even if they found the Bloodseeker farming over to the left side, there's a tier 1 tower to TP to, and he's got the Aegis. So I feel like, despite BKB being on cooldown, they're not all that concerned on Polaris. There's that Lotus Orb that I was talking about on Xavius. Just first item Lotus Orb, straight rush.
Oh boy. Big concerns with how Gunner's going to be able to get effectiveness. He's going to go into the Boots of Trouble next, so a little bit of extra positioning will be nice.